So good morning everybody. It's from Jayashree. I'm working as assistant professor in the Department of Biomedical Engineering in SNS College of Technology. Right? So here I'm going to take this sequential circuits. Let us see what do you mean by sequential circuits. Sequential circuits are digital circuits that store and use the previous state information to determine its next state. Sequential circuits are digital circuits that store and use the previous state information to determine its next state. Unlike combinational circuits, which depends only on the current input values to produce outputs. Sequential circuits depends on both the current inputs and the previous state stored in memory elements. So let us see what is the block diagram of sequential circuits, right? We already seen the block diagram of this combinational circuit, right? In the combinational, the upper part only present in the circuit, in the combinational circuit, right? That is what here the inputs are given in the combination circuit and the output is given to the output is taken from the combination circuit. In this, along with this, in sequential circuit, the memory element is added in this circuit and it forms a feedback, that is the output of the output is given to the next state of the input. Okay, so here this block diagram indicates the output is given fed back to the input. The output is nothing but the next state, and for the memory elements the output is nothing but the internal inputs, whereas memory element the internal output and the current state. This are what the block diagram of sequential circuit. Okay, next one. Let us see what is the advantages of sequential circuits. Sequential circuits have the ability to store binary values which make them ideal for applications that require memory elements such as timers and counters. Timing. Next, sequential circuits are commonly used to implement timing and synchronization in digital systems, making them essential for real-time control applications. Okay. Next one, state machine implementation. Sequential circuit can be used to implement state machines which are useful for control complex digital systems and ensuring that they operate as intended. Error detection. Sequential circuits can be used to designed to detect errors in digital system and respond accordingly, improve the reliability of the digital system. Okay, the advantages of sequential system are memory, timing, state machine implementation, at lost error detection. Since sequential circuits depend on the previous input, right? So the circuit is very complex to design. Okay, let us see what is the disadvantages of sequential circuits. This is what the complexity of the design. So here the sequential circuits depend on the previous input, right? This sequential circuit depends on the previous input to get the present output, right? That is what the sequential circuits are typically more complex than combinational circuits and require more components to implement. Timing constraints. The design of the sequential circuits can be challenging due to the need to ensure that the timing of the inputs and output is correct. Okay, at last, testing and debugging. Testing and debugging the sequential circuit can be more difficult compared to combinational circuit due to their complex structure and state dependent outputs. Okay, so these are the main disadvantages of sequential circuits: complexity and testing. So complexity in the sense based on this, that is before the previous depends on the previous input, right? So the system is very complex when while it performing the circuit for debugging, right? This is what this sequential circuit. Let us summarize the today topics. Sequential circuit. So what do you mean by sequential circuit? Sequential circuit are the digital circuit that store and use the previous state information to determine its next state. Okay. Unlike combinational circuit, which only depends on the current input values to produce outputs, sequential circuits depends on both the current inputs and the previous states stored in memory elements. So this is what the main block diagram of the sequential circuit. Along with this combinational circuit, the feedback is added to get the output. This is what the main block diagram of sequential circuit. Next one. So this is what the advantages of sequential circuit. memory, timing, state machine implementation, error detection. So we can easily detect the error because it is previously connected to input, and state machine implementation, timing, circuitry and memory. So disadvantage, since the circuit depends on the previous input, the circuit is more complex than combinational circuit and require more components to implement. Timing constraint, the design of sequential circuit can be challenging due to need to ensure that the timing of the inputs and output is correct. So timing constraints, in the sense the design of the sequential circuit depends on the previous input, right? So it needs more time to develop the design. Okay, since the timing and circuit is complex, the testing and debugging is very difficult in sequential circuits. So thank you all. Let us see the next slide.